Smooth On offers a wide range of silicone rubbers that are ideal for making block molds. In this demonstration, we'll be using Mold Max 30 Tin Cure silicone rubber to make a mold of this small resin model. Once the Mold Max 30 mold is complete, we'll cast Smooth Cast 320 resin pigmented with So Strong Black to create a replica. Here's a list of the materials needed for this project. In preparation for molding, we begin by fixing the resin model to a flat, non-porous baseboard using hot melt glue. The glue holds the model firmly in place and seals the bottom edges to prevent silicone from leaking underneath. Because we're using silicone and the model is made of resin, a non-porous material, we don't need a release agent or sealer. But for porous materials like wood or concrete, sealing is essential to prevent the rubber from getting into the pores and locking to the surface. Next, we'll build our mold box. For this demonstration, we're using poster board for 3 walls and acrylic for the front, only for video purposes, so we can see the material being poured. Using hot melt glue, we secure the walls to the base and along all seams to make sure it's fully sealed. Before moving on, we double-check that there's at least ½ inch of space between the model and every wall, and that the walls are tall enough to allow for at least ½ inch of silicone above the highest point of the model. As we said, we'll be using Mold Max 30 for the mold. We can estimate how much material is needed with the calculator on the Smooth On website. Mold Max 30 mix ratio is 10 parts A to 1 part B by weight, so we use a gram scale. Before measuring, we pre-mix part B thoroughly to redistribute any settled material. This step is critical for a proper cure. Since this is a small batch and we're measuring by weight, not by volume, we can add part B directly into the part A container to avoid loss from one container to another. But if you feel safer, measure each part in separate containers. Next, we mix both parts thoroughly, scraping the sides and bottom to make sure we have a complete mix. For the best results, we use the double mix technique. After the first mix, pour the silicone into a clean container and mix again. We are using a bigger container now because we'll be vacuum degassing the material and we need the space for the material to rise. Vacuum degassing is recommended when using Mold Max 30 because it has a high mixed viscosity of 25,000 centipoise. It has a pot life of about 45 minutes, so there's plenty of time to mix carefully and degas. Now that we have removed entrapped air from our material, we are ready to pour. When pouring, we start at the lowest point of the mold box and pour in a thin, steady stream from a high spot. This helps break up and release air bubbles as the silicone flows and fills around the model. We continue pouring into the same spot, letting the silicone rise naturally until it covers the model by about ½ inch. Once poured, the silicone is left to cure at room temperature for 24 hours. After the silicone is fully cured, we remove the mold box walls. We then carefully lift the silicone mold from the base and remove the original resin model. Mold Max 30 has captured every fine detail of the surface perfectly. To make a casting, we'll cast Smooth Cast 320 resin with So Strong Black, producing an exact replica in a lighter gray. After pre-mixing both parts, we start by dispensing part B and we'll add part A later, since it's moisture sensitive and we don't want it exposed any longer than necessary. We add a small amount of So Strong Black to part B and mix until the color is uniform. Now, we measure an equal volume of part A and combine all materials and mix thoroughly, using again the double mix technique for best results. Smooth Cast 320 has a pot life of 3 minutes, so we work quickly but thoroughly. With the mold on a level surface, we pour the resin slowly into the lowest spot, letting it flow naturally and minimize air entrapment. Once full, we let the material cure for 10 minutes at room temperature. After the resin has cured, we can remove the casting from the mold. The result is a solid gray reproduction that perfectly captures the detail and texture of the original resin model.